Peace and blessings, family. It's your girl Zakia Harris, aka Shapeshifter, aka Oya Dolu, coming forth with a message today about finding your flow in the midst of quarantine. I know many of us are having to reimagine our lives because we are finding ourselves unable to go to many of the places that we're used to going. We are finding ourselves in front of screens a lot more often than many of us probably would like to. And so I wanted to share some tips today about how to find your flow, how to find your balance in the midst of all of the changes of quarantine. And so I'm always buoyed by the adage of our ancestors who wrote messages that would never be able to be erased. And those are the messages that are written on the top of pyramids as you walk into the temples that tell us to know thyself. And so the first thing when you're thinking about your flow and how to really align and lifestyle design for your own optimization is to understand that it is personal and unique to you, that what works for other people is not necessarily going to work for you. And that's why our ancestors told us that. They told us to know ourselves, to know thyself. And the way that you know thyself is you have to have a level of self-awareness to be able to see the way that you are moving and navigating in the world. And so take some time to tap into that and to do some heart discernment and thinking about, when are those times where I feel the most alive? When are those times where I feel depressed? And reverse hack that. What was I thinking about right before that? Was something going on in the world? Was I scrolling social media? Is there something that I said to myself? Is there something that I ate, right? Really reverse hacking your lifestyle. Same thing when things are flowing for you, right? Reverse hacking that. What was I eating? What was I thinking? Who was I around? What were the actions and the behaviors that I were doing? And how can I do more of those things to bring more of that into my life? And for negative behaviors and patterns that don't serve us, how can you do less of those things? And so that's one way to really think about that level of self-awareness, and also to think about how you're aligning yourself with nature. I talk a lot about this all the time because we know that we are nature, we are star children, we are made up of the same elements of the sun and the moon and the stars. So when we think about optimization and we think about nature, we know that nature is not something outside of us. Nature is within us. Nature is who we are. And so the more we are aligned with those systems and that reality, the more we actually get a boost from the universe. So right now we are finding ourselves right at the midpoint of summer. We know that we celebrated the summer solstice around June 20th, 21st. We know that we'll be celebrating the autumn equinox in September 21st, 22nd. So we're kind of in that middle point right now. We're still in the season of summer. What does summer represent? Summer represents the light. This is a time that we want to be outside. This is a time where we want to spend more time in nature. This is a time where we want to shine. We want to put on our cute summer clothes, put on that shea butter, and we out here shining and everything. This is also the season of Leo. This moon is that we're experiencing. The new moon, which I'm going to talk more about, is a Leo new moon. So that means that this is a time of courageousness. This is a time of confidence. This is a time to launch new projects, new visions, new ideas, new practices. So to be thinking about what are those things that we want to bring into the light, and also what are things that are coming to the light? What are those things that are now being revealed to us, right? Because that's the other aspect of the light. Sometimes things are being revealed, mindsets, relationships, mentalities, circumstances, practices and ways of being that we have embedded within us that are maybe coming to the light, and you're realizing, hey, actually, I don't want to do that anymore, right? So those are the things that are coming to the light that you may want to compost, and there's going to be other things that are coming to the light where you want more of. And so thinking about how can you really maximize this season of summer, maximize this time before we move into the harvest season, where we're going to be bringing and harvesting all of those insights and wisdoms to hold us over through winter. So this is a wonderful time to continue to put yourself out there, to get into stepping into the light in new ways, and thinking about when it comes to your finances, your business, your relationships, your wellness practices, how you can bring even more light to them by working in alignment with the seasons. So the seasons is another one. The other piece I want to talk about is the moon cycle. So we know that we are always living living every 28 or so days, we have an opportunity to celebrate a full moon as well as a new moon. Again, for those of us who have wombs, we know that our moon cycle, our period, actually is in alignment with the tides, with the oceans, with the new moons, and with the full moons. So again, nature is not outside of us. It actually is connected. We are interconnected with it, and we are in this interconnected relationship with it. Today actually is a new moon. It is a new moon in Leo as well. So we're getting this double Leo energy. It's about the sun is here. It's about glory, confidence. So this is a wonderful time to start something new. And I always say with starting something new that you can start something new every day. That every breath can be an opportunity to have a new mindset, right? To hit the reset button on your life. So we don't have to wait for the new moons, but it is a wonderful time again where you're getting that boost from the universe to see the intentions of something new, whether you want more money or you want more love or you want more intimacy, you want more work, you want more intimate relationships, whatever it is that you're seeking. This is a wonderful time to do a ritual around that. It could be a journal practice. It can be a meditation. I took a new moon bath last night. Whatever it is that speaks to your heart and that is in alignment with your intuition, take the time to really honor those cycles of the new moon, and knowing that when we shift into the full moon is a time of release. It's a time to let things go. It's a time to release all the things that no longer serve us. Again, you can do that with the new moons and the full moons, but you can literally do that. Every inhalation is a new opportunity to bring in new life, and every exhalation is an opportunity to let go and release those things that no longer serve us. So just tapping into that flow. Another flow for those of us who do bleed is the actual cycles of our moons, our moon cycles, our period. So I actually started my moon today on this new moon. So I'm releasing and launching at the same time, which is all good. That's the flow that I'm in. But to understand, how do you feel around your moon cycle? Do you tend to be tired? Do you tend to get a little cranky? Do you tend to get more depressed? Do you have a lot of energy? How can you align and schedule your business, your work, some of the endeavors that you're seeking to do around those times where you have the most energy? I know that for me, when I'm on my moon cycle, I don't have a lot of energy. I want to chill out. I want to curl up with a blanket, a cup of tea, smoke a spliff, read, do a facial mask. You know, it's an internal time for me. I'm not really trying to be out here and doing the most. So I try to schedule my life to allow me to not have to do a lot of things. Telling my family, hey, this is not the time where I'm doing a lot of things. If you check out Sobonfu Some Ibaye, she's an ancestor, amazing healer from Burkina Faso's work. She says that in her village of her tribe, that during moon cycles, women would all come together. So this would be a time where women would be coming together during their moon cycles. They would have sister circles. They would not have to cook for themselves, that the men in the village would actually cook for them. If they wanted a particular food or everything, this would be something that would be brought to them, because the understanding was that women are in this powerful channeling place. And this is a time for them to be served in order to fill their cups and not have to give and give and give to others. And again, I know that we have to recreate the village in Babylon, so oftentimes we don't have those things at our disposal. We can't all just stop working today. If you want to bring me over some food, feel free, but I know that that's probably not likely. So I've had to schedule and shapeshift and design my life in order for me to do that. So maybe it means that I'm meal prepping right before I know my moon cycle is happening. Maybe it means I'm having those conversations with my family to make sure that they understand what my boundaries are. One of the things that they say about happiness, however you define it, is happy people have a lot of boundaries. Happy people are unapologetic about stating their boundaries. So part of the self-awareness of knowing thyself, of knowing what's going on in the cosmos, of knowing what's going on in your own interpersonal cosmos, the cosmos of your own body temple, is also having that self-awareness so you can communicate it, one, to yourself, but you also can communicate that to other people. And so these are just some of the things that you can start doing to really know thyself. The other thing is not comparing yourself to other people. It's so easy to go on social media, to go on the news feed and to look at what everybody else is doing and think that you're supposed to be posting, you're supposed to be launching, you're supposed to be eating something or exercising a certain way because you see everybody else doing it. But everybody else isn't you. You have to know your own divine flow. You have to know your own self-awareness for when you're feeling good and when you need to rest, so that you can move not from a full cup, but from a place of overflow. That everything that we're really trying to do in our life, when we're serving other people, we're serving them from an overflow. We're supporting our partners from a place of overflow. We're supporting our children from a place of overflow. We're nurturing our work practices and our businesses from a place of overflow. And oftentimes we're coming from this depleted nature and we're wondering why we don't have the energy required. We're wondering why we feel drained, we feel tapped out, we feel disconnected, we feel depressed, and it's because we're not really nurturing our own body temple. And so now more than ever, we not have to double down, we have to triple down, not only with those practices, but also with an awareness again of what is going on in the context that we're moving through, because this is a time of immense uncertainty. This is a time of immense fear mongering. This is a time where it is easy to feel depleted. This is a time where I feel we're going to have record numbers of people battling mental health issues and depression because of the isolation that these devices bring and the isolation of shelter in place. And so this is not, I don't even use the word self-care. I use the word self-preservation. Because self-preservation is what every animal in nature does, every species in nature does, to make sure that it maintains, and not just maintains, is able to thrive, is able to move from a place of thriving. And that is that overflow place again. So forget about self-care and wellness. This is about your own self-preservation, because you have work to do. And we need the work that you're here to bring, because you have a unique gift that no one else has. With the 7 billion people that are all on the planet, that Spirit gave us all a unique imprint, that everybody's fingerprint is different, and that your fingerprint has to touch the global consciousness of the world so that we can midwife us through this immense shift, so that we can create the world that we want to see, not just for us, but for our children and for all the future generations. And so you moving from that place of overflow is going to be required so that you can bring your gift and share your medicine with others. And having the self-awareness to know who you are, to know your flow, to know when it's time for you to get out there and to be out into the light, and when it's time to take a step back and refill in the shadow. Those are critical components of what is required. So I hope that some of that resonated with you, that you can really tap into that awareness. I hope that you tap into this new moon energy tonight. Do something special, launch something new. Be okay with being in your own flow and having your own energetic and personal sovereignty that is required, regardless of the dominant paradigm and the fear mongering that is happening in the world. You overstand your power and your purpose, and you're able to move with unapologetic boldness and ease. Okay. So that is what I have for you today, Shapeshifters. I am going to be launching a new set of classes in the fall. I'm working overtime, but in a balanced way, not overtime from a place of depletion, but I'm working really hard to bring you some really special classes and special new content that I know you're gonna love. So stay tuned for that. Until then, keep shifting.